Welcome to the Big Biz Show.
Taking care of business.
You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
That's right. We are inside the Fortress of Solitude for Captain Finance, the Loft 100 Studios. Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, thanks for being along for the ride. Costa, Marybird Godwin, my favorite. Greg Todorov, also my favorite, and my super favorite, Sully.
Nice to see you. Look at that with the municipal. Municipal. We got Billy Arnett coming on next week.
I heard.
Mark Wahlberg's partner. In
I heard.
He's been on the air a number of times.
Hold on.
Are you a municipal fan?
Oh my God, love it. Love
They
it.
have female
Love their
stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Well, it's all female stuff now, isn't it?
Hey.
I don't know.
Ever since Eve.
I don't know. Let's ask Mike.
They got all the clothing and half the money.
Thank you. No, they're here in town. They got the big, beautiful Oceanside store, and then they have their massive flagship up in Orange County.
What's interesting, the rest of the country here is Oceanside. Ooh, what a fantastic place.
Is it the site of the ocean?
Well, there has been a renaissance.
I was going to say, it's
I would call it a regentrification versus a renaissance. There's nothing renaissance about Oceanside. This is like saying Daytona Beach as a renaissance.
It actually, have you been there? Have you
Yes.
been? There's some amazing spas and hotels, really
Yes.
good restaurants,
And then there's
Michelin star restaurants.
the highest crime per capita in the entire country because of the military base. So there's also that. Let's get straight to Howie Font, our analyst here on the Big Biz Show, shall we? I love how Howie went clubbing and got this music to Jared. Good to see you, Jared. Good to see you, Howard. Hey, let's talk about making more multimillionaires. What is this? What is this email I got from you today saying making more
listen,
Are you asking?
I'm just really happy that I could be talking about this. I thought I was going to look a little bit out of touch, and you guys are talking about how crummy. Ocean View, California. I know it's okay, but
this is so typical of the East Coast guy. Solano Beach and Del Mar. And
How expensive is La Jolla?
It's mediocre. Southern California. Who cares?
Ocean View, California is absolutely gorgeous by Pacific Palisades. Of
course it is.
Oceanside, California, which is next to Camp Pendleton, at one point, not anymore because there has been a regentrification, was the highest crime per capita in the country until about 6 years ago.
Chicago West.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like there's something like its highest crime per capita, and it's like the footprint is like 1 square foot.
It's exactly right.
Like
Yeah.
One guy crosses the street, and the crime rate's out of control.
That's what it used to be. Thanks for that. Okay. So tell us, how come super rich, I keep on hearing, super rich are getting richer? It's not because, and by the way, I'm going to get on my soapbox here for just 1 second.
Yeah.
The reason Amazon doesn't pay any taxes, the reason Target doesn't pay any taxes, the reason McDonald's doesn't pay any taxes, because they use the 71,000 page tax code, just like you do, to pay as least amount of tax as they can. Okay? They're playing fairly. Okay? It's not unfair. It's our progressive tax system, which is ridiculous. It's the same reason why you can write off certain ridiculous notions and you can't write off other. You can only write off $1 million on your mortgage. Okay? And can you name any coastal state or border state that doesn't have at least $1 million, 30% of their homes are $1 million or more in terms of mortgages, and you can't write them off because of our progressive tax code. So what is happening is, when they say the rich are getting richer, it's because they own assets, right, Howie?
Listen, that's exactly right. I'm calling it a call to action, this segment, because I think in this country it's possible for most people to, get to the last third of their lives as millionaires, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But you have to own assets and let your money make money while you work.
But there's a big secret here. There's a huge secret here that not many people know. I would actually, let me say this, Howie. I think everyone knows this, but very few of them actually follow this.
Oh, that is a tease.
I think that's
coming up. News Radio 600 Go. See you later. Traffic and weather together, talking on the 5.
All right, keep it here. A lot more to come. And the answer to that question on the other side.
Costa Sky.
wherever you are watching, wherever you're listening. Everybody with this fun Big Biz show, thanks you for being along for the ride. Of course, the guys up on stage, that is the world famous Day Trader Trio. We got him here every single show. I'm Costa Godwin, Greg Todorov, and of course, Sully.
And of course, what we really have here is Brandon Robinson's back. Brandon Robinson, of course, is the founder and CEO of Horizon Aircraft. HOVR. HOVR is the stock symbol. The reason we do this is because me and Mike and Greg and Mary geek out on this every time.
I want to go on a ride right now.
Well, one thing we didn't talk about, Brandon, great to see you, bud. We never talked about your press release about a month ago about this propulsion expert guy. So I'm digging, because I'm always looking at numbers. I'm always looking at your geeking out on the vehicle, but I'm not talking about the guys behind it. Can you go through again, because you're an ex-fighter pilot. You have a whole group of people that have been born and raised in this thing. Talk about the propulsion expert and why that's such a cool thing, because that's a big deal for you guys.
Well, I mean, we're fortunate. We've managed to bring on the team world-class folks, right? So John Wizakowski is a great example, world-class propulsion expert, basically architecting the entire propulsion system from the hybrid engine all the way through to the electrical engines that kind of drive the vertical lift system. He's done so on multiple occasions. He is a top 10 person in the world, and we're extremely lucky to have him on board. We have a few more of those coming as well.
Your team that you chose from the very beginning kind of had to have a long-term vision, Brandon. And I think, when you enter into the space that you're in, even though it's sort of something that you live and breathe every day for your entire life at that point, to sort of transition that to the thoughts and minds of the people that go to work for you, and then of course investors. That had to be a big deal. When you guys were first starting out, what was that like when you were sort of mining all that human capital and that talent?
Well, that's a great question. And so we took a little bit of a different spin on it. We saw a lot of companies forming, in Silicon Valley and out of university think tanks. We were a group of practical pilots. I flew jets in the Air Force, like you said, for almost 2 decades. My father has been, chief engineer, has been flying airplanes and fixing them and yelling at them for the last, no kidding, half a century. So we, we're a bunch of practical folks, practical pilots, practical engineers, operational folks. And we wanted to design a product that was laser focused on the end user. And so a machine that could be safe, could make money in the real world. And I think that set us apart sort of early on in the, in the evolution of the company. And we've been really proud about that. And the proof is in the pudding, right? So all of the different folks that are reaching out now appreciate the different layers of safety and operational redundancy and performance aspects that we built into the system.
Brandon Robinson, founder, CEO, Horizon Aircraft, their ticker symbol is HOVR. So Brandon, do you go to propulsionexpert.cc, or, I would assume that someone of that category and that level of expertise probably has everybody in a lot of different disciplines coming after them to join their team?
Yeah, so very fortunately, we brought on just a genius chief technical officer, Tom Brassington, in the space, who is very senior in Lilium, actually, and then reached out to us and said, listen, your design makes the most sense that we've seen. I'd like to join. And that kind of genius level sort of technical expertise comes a great network. And John Wizakowski and Tom worked together over the years, and John learned about Horizon Aircraft and actually reached out to us and had a really hard look at the airplane and said, yeah, this actually makes a huge amount of sense. I believe in the technology. I would like to work for you folks. And of course, when someone, top 10 in the world reaches out, we're not going to say no. And, we were actively looking, and John knew that. And we're just extremely fortunate to have someone like that on board.
Brandon, what altitude will this thing fly?
So another great question. It'll fly less than 10,000 feet. The average flight will be between probably 5,000 and 8,000 feet, utilizing the kind of low-level airspace, less crowded than the higher-level airspace. And it really only needs to travel at that altitude to make a huge amount of difference.
Hey, Brandon, we talked about commercialization last time you were on there with us, but we didn't kind of delve into certification and entry into certification process for something like this. What is that like? We've never even delved into that. When I think about a biotech company, you're thinking about FDA. Think about you guys, you're thinking about FAA. in terms of U.S. and whatever else, whatever other governing bodies are across the world. What does that journey look like to you guys?
So we're north of the border. We're a Canadian company. So we'll certify under Transport Canada Civil Aviation, TCCA. That's the equivalent of the FAA, but up in Canada. So think smaller, leaner, more agile version of the FAA, and they're not inundated with thousands of different companies trying to certify new aircraft. So we get a lot of attention. They're also experts in vertical propulsion, if that makes sense, so certification of helicopters. And we're also lucky enough to have Certification Center Canada on board with us. So John Maris, the founder and CEO of Certification Center Canada, basically is a company built out of all of the best certification people from around North America, founded in sort of one company. John is on our board of directors, and we're lucky enough to have them on board to create a plan and to liaise with our Transport Canada Civil Aviation folks up here to construct a really smart certification plan. And so that's well underway, and we're pretty lucky to have the connections that we have.
Brandon, I think as we speak, we are amassing troops along the northern border ready to invade Canada. But in all seriousness, are the tariffs affecting you guys at all? I'm sure you have, you do business with other countries and things like that, but does the United States and what's going on currently, and I hope it ends very, very soon because we love Canada, does it affect you adversely?
Although we blame you for everything, we still love you.
1,000%, yeah. We love you.
Yeah, no, fair enough. We're tough Canadians. We live at minus 30 degrees. You can't bother us with a little tariff sort of.
All right.
Yeah, if we were an American company, I'd be worried, right? Because everything that we bring in and try to construct, we have to pay extra, 25% on it.
Sure.
But right now, we're in the R&D phase. It's mainly manpower. We're bringing in some cool tech from around the world. But it doesn't really affect us. If we were in lower to medium volume production, then of course it would. But for our current stage, for the next couple of years, the tariffs honestly don't really matter that much to us.
Good. Brandon, before I let you out here today, it's so great to have you. I can't wait to get you in San Diego so we can actually meet face to face at some point and get you in studio. But I have to ask you, with respect to next gen. So let's say in the next 5 years, this is a de rigueur. We're seeing this work. It's going. Is there a pecking order in which you want to take over different verticals in the aviation industry, or is it catch as catch can based upon your next technology that you guys come up with?
Yeah. So if you're talking about mission sets, which I think is the question here, we're essentially it's a helicopter that operates per unit mile at about 70% less cost. And so there's a ton of missions, the people are scrambling to kind of get early orders in now with us for medical evacuation, for example, or emergency medical transport, emergency medical services. So you imagine getting someone to the hospital in, half the time because it goes twice as fast as a typical helicopter, or transporting critical organs or time-sensitive cancer drugs between hospitals in half the time. There's just a huge amount, even in the emergency medical services space. Disaster relief, the thing is hybrid powered. So it operates off the grid. You can fly this into a disaster relief zone. Maybe a hurricane goes through. Yeah. And it can be its own power station. It can set up a telecommunications hub. It can rescue people that are in trouble, just like a helicopter can, except it can deploy twice as fast. Now you think cargo to remote locations. We're looking at all sorts of different missions. On the military side, which is something that has been quite interesting to a number of defense prime contractors. Again, if you had a helicopter that went twice as fast and could carry the same amount of stuff, you're going to be interested in a lot of interesting missions: casualty evacuation, special forces, infill, exfil, that sort of stuff. Really, just a ton of early missions that this aircraft can drop into right now, like tomorrow, if it was ready.
As they like to say, the sky is the limit.
It is the limit.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Brandon Robinson, founder, CEO, Horizon Aircraft. Their ticker symbol is HOVR. Quickly has become one of our favorite guests. Brandon, as always.
Thanks, Brandon.
Can't wait to talk to you again. Hey, listen, much more to come from here, so keep it here as the Big Biz Show rolls on.
Troika is a brand consulting, creative design, and content group that holds the view that brands are a company's most valuable asset and that the most enduring brands forge strong emotional bonds with audiences and supporters. To assist brands in converting audiences into ardent fans, they adopt a fan-centric perspective that guides the way they think, create, and design. Their craft is a blend of art and strategic thinking to create a holistic and meaningful brand experience that builds highly engaged, loyal audiences. Using immersive live experiences, brand partnerships, PR, social media, and influencer marketing, Mission is a communications company that helps brands stand out by interacting with consumers from a cultural perspective.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I had an ADHD moment and scrolled on my phone too long.
The numbers of ADHD have dramatically increased over the years.
I don't know what HDs are, but the doctor said I got 80 of them.
That is so me. I forget stuff all the time, and I think I totally have ADHD.
What do you mean my daughter has ADHD? I thought that was just young boys.
Yeah, now I gotta take these meds, and they make me crash out by the middle of the day. What even is ADHD?
Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder, which pretty much means I find it really hard to retain anything, and I find it really hard to stay still and focus.
That is just a snippet of another awesome Bizumentary produced here by the Loft 100 Studios and the incredible crew we're able to work with. Speaking of incredible, that's the DTT up there on stage, back here at the bar. Equally incredible, Costa, Mary Godwin, and of course Sully.
And we got Shane Schaffer with us today. Shane Schaffer, of course, the CEO of Cingulate, C-I-N-G. Buddy, I got to tell you,
everybody, how you doing?
What's up?
So the network, I will tell you, is looking forward to this. I will tell you, audience is looking forward to this. That's just a snippet of the first part of this. Devin Doan and his team and Jared have done a great job with you guys. And Shane has been deeply involved in this because he wants to get the word out. But at the same time, the network thought of this as a public service announcement in terms of that.
Sure.
It's got a great start to it. I think that having you and your staff and your team of experts as the spokespeople here, I think it's going to bring to light here a ton of exposure in terms of what the undiagnosed issue, and also as this drug goes to commercialization. I have to tell you, you're telling a great story. So fantastic so far. Well, I think we go on the air here probably later in the month, as long as I'm giving Shane control over telling us what we should put out of the air because he's good. But listen, man, congratulations, and I hope you're pleased with the way that things are started. But I have to tell you, when you get a subject like ADHD, and suddenly everyone thinks, no, I don't have it. You ever heard me and Shane on the phone together?
I don't ever want to.
Good to see you, man.
If you do, Costa, if you do.
Hey, get us up to date, man. What's happening lately? I know that you guys are we're with everything that you guys have announced recently in terms of moving the ball forward. You guys are at the 1 yard line here, and you're at the last piece of this. We go to commercialization.
We really are. And real quick on that, I've watched the preview of what's coming out with the Bizumentary, and I'm just so excited, about the opportunity to really shed some light on a lot of the misconceptions around ADHD, talk about all the unmet needs that are currently, obstacles for patients, for providers, for families that deal with ADHD. So your production staff's doing a great job. They're meeting with the right people from advocacy groups like CHAD, children and adolescents with ADHD, some of the top physicians. You got Tom Brown there. You're going to have Ann Childress, Dr. Brahms and Silva, folks from Cingulate. So it's really going to be fascinating to see this all come together, and it's really a great piece of work. Only one comment, more cowbell.
Can you sense that there's people just banging at the gates, waiting for those things to fling open, the parents who have the kids who are dealing with it hourly?
There's not a week that goes by and where I or someone that's part of this company and they come tell me, or our loved ones, they're like, hey, I was talking to someone about your company, Shane, and every single time they describe our product as a simple, you truly take it once a day.
Yep.
It starts working, nearly immediately, and it lasts your entire active day. No booster doses. We minimize some of the side effects. And they're like, where is this product? When is this coming out? And there's really nothing that we're not overcoming from a medical need perspective. So we hear it all the time. We've gotten the feedback through our clinical trials as well that the patients that were on it really, really enjoyed this product in terms of just evening out their day. So we're hearing great things, Mr. Costa.
So, Shane, as I've told you before, I think we can all tell that I may or may not. I think as a kid, he's so hyper.
You and I, brother. Yeah.
So the only time I was ever medicated was when my ex-wife handed me a book called Driven to Distraction. And it's about, and if you read the book, you could have changed my name in every example of what they're talking to. And it was a marriage and family counselor that actually pointed out the fact, bro. So I took Ritalin I'm going to say 20 years ago, okay? Yeah. And it was, and for everybody else, it's prescription grade speed. I mean, it would make everybody bounce off the walls. For me, it made me take a nap and then want a beer, which was, like it was almost like, this feels good. The problem was, I remember when I needed it most, because look at what I do here, I don't want to be medicated here. I'm working a soundboard, I'm working a mixing board, I've got paper in front of me, I got a microphone, I got TV cameras, I got co-hosts, I got guests. I mean, I call it the bug because I can work a little symphony here. The problem is when I needed it was 3 in the afternoon, and if I took it again, I'm gonna be up till 1 a.m. This is basically what you have solved here. Let's talk about that for a minute.
So the stimulant class is by far the largest class that treats attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And they break down into 2 categories. I'll keep this short. Your methylphenidates like Ritalin and Concerta and Focalin, and then your amphetamines like Vyvanse and Adderall. They're 92% of the market, and they work by getting into the brain and basically allowing the ADHD patient to keep more of their dopamine or norepinephrine. So basically normalize their brain.
It slowed down the noise is how I describe it.
And if you have ADHD, it does the exact opposite of what you think a stimulant would do. Right. It slows down things. It allows your executive function to be normalized. So that's a good thing. The problem with these medications is they're very short half-lives. They come in quick and they leave quick. So it's all about a delivery technology that allows us the ability to deliver the right amount of the drug in the right ratio at the right time in the right style and give patients the opportunity to not have to take multiple drugs throughout the day. Let's not forget, this is attention deficit disorder. People forget to take their doses as they need to. So we've simplified it in a way that it's not just about compliance, it's about what is your life like? How do we make your life better if you have ADHD? And that's what we believe we've accomplished, and we look forward to the FDA reviewing our data. And we've had great conversations with the agency thus far.
I thought about you all weekend this weekend only because we have a bromance. But other than that,
your daughter's wedding.
I was going to say Delaney's wedding was on Friday, and I'll tell you what. And my significant other was there, and a few people. If you wanted to see what happens with somebody that has little ADHD. I snapped. I'm sorry. Then it was fine. I was organizing. I got it. And it was like, if you wanted to see the good, the bad, and the ugly,
which it was there.
It was there. And I was thinking, I need Shane out here. Like, can you bring me a baggie for all that stuff? Let's go. What's
prescription only?
Of course. What is so we got commercialization. We're thinking about a year from now. You got the application coming. What does the rest of your year look like? Because right now you're kind of on you're kind of on a little bit autopilot, but you got a lot of work to set up for, right?
Yeah, so I mean, if I talk to my clinical and regulatory team, and they're getting ready to go on autopilot, so they're taking their vacations after the NDA for the summer, because we have about a 45 to 60-day clock for the agency to come back and say, here's your PDUFA date, here's when we expect to, render your decision on approval. But really, there is a mountainous amount of work that needs to be done as we get ready to commercialize this product. So we're building up our market access team, we're building up the medical affairs group, publications, congresses, advocacy meetings, medical information, sales force, commercialization, marketing, agency of record. A lot of work is happening right now. My whole team is here this week here in Kansas City. A few of them are hiding out at my conference room table right now. But a lot of work is going to be done so that we make sure, number one, that when we launch this product, every provider that treats ADHD is aware of this asset, that they know that this new product is here, they know the problems we solve, and we want to make sure that patients that suffer from ADHD know there's a solution out there if this is the appropriate product for them.
Dr. Shane Schaffer.
Love you, dude. I can't wait for what happens. Get here to San Diego. We'll see what happens next with the Bizumentary. We're going to be on the air here in a couple of weeks. We'll
be back soon. Great to see you guys.
Chairman, CEO, Cingulate, ticker symbol CING. Big B Show rolls on in over 175 countries, all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network. And as always, we say thank you to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what they do.
I get it.
What they've done for us. That's the Day Trader Trio back here at the bar, talking a little tequila. It's Costa, Mary Bird Godwin, and of course Sully with a very special guest. Yep.
This is the jail I want to be in.
This bottle, I can't get over this bottle. It's so gorgeous.
Preston Caffrey, the CEO of Bebemos Tequila.
Creme de menthe. Oh,
no.
I'm sorry. It's tequila.
Andre Cold Duck. No, it's Preston is the CEO of Bebemos Tequila. He is back with us.
Can I ask you something? Do you still buy your suits where you buy your wine, Chevron?
Of course. Of course. All that flex fabric.
AM/PM?
My Sansabelt slacks, the whole 9 yards.
Sansabelt. Really?
That's a good pull.
Do you remember Parade magazine?
Of course.
My grandpa used to buy those jumpsuits.
In the back?
Goldenrod.
Oh, that's the color.
Great color.
It was cranberry.
Yep.
Goldenrod. Midnight. And what was the other one? Was
it lime or something?
Oh, there was lime, but what the blue was?
Excuse me, mint.
No, there was.
Blue was maybe.
The blue was like something like ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's bring it back. This sounds all very Bebemos.
And you know,
I think your shirt is very goldenrod.
Yeah.
Right? That's a goldenrod.
By the way, can you say goldenrod on TV?
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
as long as you say golden.
Because there's a movie called Goldenrod. It was the back of the video store. I will tell you. So he had those because he was a house painter, you know.
Oh yeah.
And he wore those, you know, those, what are they called?
Coveralls?
Oh, coveralls.
Coveralls. Oh yes.
And you back in Parade magazine, right?
Yeah.
But he also wore Vans, because listen, they were slip-ins, is easy on, easy off. That you know, he was legit Vans. Vans were not surf skate shoes. Vans were like for painters that get in and out, like boom, boom. So
that's amazing.
The reason I'm bringing this up is because his shirt is goldenrod, and I thought to myself,
I like it.
But
yeah.
I have to say, Preston, we had you on, and many national TV audience, because we're on 125 million households, and we're on Bloomberg and Financiero, and we're also on American Forces Network in 175 countries and all the ships at sea. We told you we had a pretty popular, well, people knew us in San Diego.
Yeah, it happens.
We had you on the San Diego show at one point, and I thought to myself, we should have you here because the business of entering into the liquor business, it's like entering into, I'm going to start a watch company. It's not crowded. It's not doesn't seem complicated at all.
I'm going to do sunglasses.
So, can you tell this audience a story? Because what were you doing previously? What did you do for a living prior to this?
Real estate finance.
Oh.
So drinking a lot, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially to the Great Correction, the Great Recession. So how do you make the jump? I think it was because of your wife, right?
Yeah. We stole her business plan, started importing small batch tequilas. And
you stole your wife's business plan?
Oh, yeah.
What was your wife's business?
It's We Drink Bubbles. She's still doing it. It's great.
And she would deliver alcohol to people's homes.
Yeah, so
during
she was
COVID,
importing
right?
really small batch grower champagnes, and then
do you know why people like that?
Doorstep. Yeah.
Do you know why people like that? Because liquor's delicious and they like it.
They like it.
It's pretty simple.
And to have it delivered to your doorstep.
Yeah, well,
pretty nice.
And we say in good times people drink, and bad times.
No, you're like a laundromat.
When things are happening.
Look at,
exactly.
Drink.
Look at recession-proof laundromats, liquor stores.
Yeah.
Right. Recession-proof.
Yeah.
Right. It's never going away.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that if you think about the crowded sort of space that any booze is in, it was kind of a big move for you guys to say, I'll enter the tequila business.
Well, I would think in San Diego, particularly because we're so close to the border, is the tequila space in San Diego saturated or?
Heavily, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would
think. We in San Diego, we drink on the spirit side more tequila than any state.
Do you know what they call that? Tuesday.
I like
it. I can say his punchlines now, friends.
So the name of the company is Bebemos Tequila. You can go to bebemostequila.com. It means we drink.
Yep.
If I'm mistaken. And of course, most of us do. Tell us how you started with, because there's a recipe involved. And
yes.
you go down to Mexico, and of course tequila is like, I think, champagne in terms of it's got to be made in a certain region in Mexico, otherwise it's not tequila.
Yep.
Tell me of that process. How do
so it has to be Blue Weber agave, and
agave's a cactus, right?
It's a cactus.
So it's a fermented cactus.
Yeah.
Which we're changing the band name to, by the way. It's also my street name, Fermented Cactus.
Cactus.
So when you went down there, how did you start that?
So it was an adventure. So we wanted to find families that were making incredible tequila, but were growing it and taking care of the whole process themselves, and weren't already represented in the United States. So it was a big ask. And so
you go door to door? Just
essentially, we met a few families and then shared with them our vision that we wanted to tell their story. We weren't about trying to slap our name or a label on a bottle. We didn't even have the intent.
Yeah, because a lot of tequila, I learned this from our friend Bubba, John, who owns En Fuego Mexican restaurant. So a lot of tequila is just basically white label. Like you go down there and
it's like 90% of it.
So you see all these brands, and they just go to the thing, they fill up the bottles, they put a different sticker on it.
Yeah.
And it's just basically plain wrap.
And they changed the formula a little bit based on like your flavor profile. So if you say I want more vanilla, they just put some vanilla drops in there. They want more oak.
So how did you guys?
Very different, yeah. This is, we partnered with this family who we became friends with. We started importing their small batch tequilas, and then on a bigger scale, they said, like, let's do something cool together. They're making arguably the best tequila in the world. And so with that, we're like, well, what can we do that the market hasn't experienced? And so a true Joven is a blend. It means young or youthful, but Joven is a blend in the tequila world. And so what we did is we took Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo.
By the way, can somebody tell me where Reposado is in Añejo? What does that mean?
So Blanco is unaged.
I mean, it's like the white lightning of tequila. It's the clear tequila,
yes.
Right?
So
what's Reposado? Goes in and out of the
oak barrel for
it's like bourbon, right?
2 months to 12 months.
Okay.
Right? And then
so it's brown because it
it's light brown. Yeah. It's only
it expands and contracts into the barrels. Okay.
And then Añejo is 12 months to 36 months.
Okay.
So what we did is we took a Blanco unaged. We put that through a Cristalino filter. So we filtered out any of even the micro particles that could be bad for you, which is why you can drink this and you feel great. Then we blended it with our Reposado, which is aged for 8 months, and then our Añejo, which is aged for 22 months. So you get the fullness.
So you have a proprietary blend.
Yes.
And you started here in California, in San Diego specifically.
San Diego, yeah.
Is there intentions to go national with this? Is that the idea?
I think down the road, yeah. But initially, I mean, this is our home. We felt like we wanted something that San Diegans could be proud of, a tequila of San Diego that we're like, yeah, that's something that's real. It's made by people we know that we care about, and they're also caring about us when they make it.
You know, it's interesting. There's a really good documentary out on Netflix called Neat, N-E-A-T, Neat, and it's about the history of bourbon here in this country. It's the only American spirit. It doesn't have to be made in Kentucky, but it's got a really good brand story, which is much like yours because it started in Kentucky. It is. You ever heard of rot gut back in the 20s? Rot gut, the one that or alcohol poisoning.
Oh yeah.
Or you heard of white lightning?
From the stills.
Bourbon is
in the hills.
Bourbon is white lightning. That is aged into new oak casks. 3 years, goes in and out. When I say this, it expands and contracts. Okay. And back in the 20s, bourbon was so popular, they would take the white lightning and put chewing tobacco spit in it to make it look like it was aged. That's what was killing people. That was
good with that. I'm good with that.
But the point is, though, it started in one city and became international spirit. Was your marketing plan or brand story going to be always, we're going to start with this interesting sort of one-on-one idea for a recipe and then expand it to the world? Or were you always considering just this corner of the world?
So when we developed Bebemos in general, the aesthetic, the feel, the late 60s, early 70s, every aspect of it is all based off of coastal San Diego. So when you go to our marketing or you look at the bottle or everything, this is what you would have experienced.
But we're so cool. You could sell this in New York, though. Right?
And we will.
Totally.
Right? And people can buy it online.
You don't screw a light bulb in here, by the way. This, if I'm not mistaken, is a shot glass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can't teach that. What is next for you guys?
So the biggest thing for us is just to continue to solidify our roots here in San Diego. So the next year, we're just putting every ounce of energy, every marketing dollar spend, all here in San Diego.
Wait, and do you have a marketing agency, or because your marketing is gorgeous? I saw a billboard of theirs in Fashion Valley.
I saw the billboard in PV.
The model is gorgeous. The color is gorgeous. Like, everything about it is amazing.
Yeah, so, that's our partner, Patrick Tracy. He has a company, Indigo Frame.
Okay.
And so he's a business partner of ours. He's doing all of that. It's
good stuff.
He's incredible. He's a Grammy Award-winning director. I mean, he knows.
Even your ads we are just showing, or the commercial, it's gorgeous.
So what's interesting is that you guys are doing, so we were playing a concert here in San Diego with, I think it was probably 3,000 people in the crowd, maybe more. And you're your brand story was evident there. I'm not sure if you were a sponsor of that event or not, but your brand story is out there. I remember shouting out to you guys because there were probably, 25 people that had Bebemos stuff on.
Yep.
They weren't even selling it there. This viral sort of brass tacks sort of way to market, as opposed to buying big national TV ads or whatever.
Yeah.
It's working for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the dream, is to say, if you had $5 million to spend on marketing, you spend that throughout the country, you're getting a little bit of nothing everywhere. Whereas if you spend it all in one place, you have a much bigger impact.
Well, as we go on tour with Rome from Sublime and Goldfinger, we're going to have like Bebemos t-shirts.
Of course.
Yeah,
buddy, thank you.
We got you.
I want to follow this story.
Preston Caffrey, CEO, Bebemos
Under my feet in
Tequila.
the car.
Of course, find the bottle near you at bebemostequila.com.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, keep it here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show.
It's the Big Biz Show coming to you from Loft 100 Studios here in Carlsbad, California. I'm Mary Bird Godwin. I'm taking the lead today, and we've got the DTT back there, grooving as usual. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, I hope that you love the show as much as I do. Oh, you know what I forgot to say is a big old holiday to ya. Hey! Gotta throw it out to Mike Costa. Okay, we've got a I gotta give you guys a... There we go. I did have to signal. Dang it. Well, next time.
It's okay.
Okay. Love you guys.
Love
you. Okay, so we've got a great guest today, one of our friends of the show. I'm so happy that you're back. Mike Taylor, investment banker. How long have you known Sully? Many, many years.
Oh, too long. But I'm thrilled that you're hosting today. So.
Thank you. This is a recurring theme. I think every single guest has said that, and I'm going to take that as a compliment. And
absolutely.
We're going to play this back for Sully himself, I think. Well, everyone's taking this summer vacation thing a little bit too far. So you and I are the only ones working.
We're the only ones working.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so talk to me. We're going to talk about Hope Therapeutics and NRX Pharma in a little bit, because I believe that's one of the clients that you're working with and very involved with Sully as well. And some of our crew here is doing, I think Devin's doing a whole piece on them. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about investment banking as a whole and how this, both you mentioned summer months, like how is this summertime looking towards things, and also the political climate, where we are with everything, the big whatever bill that you call it, and whatever's happening in the world. How is that affecting your world?
Yeah, it's been a interesting first half. I think when the tariffs were announced, the market went nuts. Tariffs inherently are inflationary. The market didn't really know what to do with it. It caught the market off guard, and specifically the bond market, which is what controls our interest rates. So the bond market really revolted against that, and then we saw a steep sell-off in the equity markets, and then we sort of very quickly found some footing, and equity markets rebounded, and the bond market has since calmed down. So we've had this kind of push-pull in the first part of the year, and that it really kind of made it hard for the investing public to say, well, what do I do here? And that kind of caused everybody to freak out.
How many calls did you get of people freaking out?
It was nonstop.
Nonstop,
Yeah,
right?
nonstop.
Like all night long.
All night long.
Yes.
Yeah, and even calls from Europe and overseas.
And are you still getting those, or has it calmed down a little bit?
It's calmed down, and I think now what's happened is we have found our footing with interest rates. There's still the push-pull between.
Where are we with interest rates right now?
So the 10-year is about a 4.30, and so that puts mortgages at about a 7%, give or take. Commercial loans at about 7%. So, we're right in there, but I think now we're starting to. There's a lot of cash sitting there that didn't get deployed in the first part of the year that's looking for a home.
That's looking for a home. Yeah. Okay, so it's a little bit easier for you this time of year than it was maybe 3 months ago, probably. Yeah. Your phone's not ringing off then.
Yeah.
But, it seems like such a volatile situation, but how were you able to kind of keep your head or did you, or keep your head during that time? Because I remember the woman I deal with that's investing.
Yeah.
The little amounts that I have, she's like, I'd call her and she's like, don't worry. And I was like, actually, I was calling about something else. But she's like, everyone's freaking.
Yeah.
How were you able to stay calm?
Well, I think I've been doing this for a long time, and there's always dislocations in the market, and we always seem to find some common ground, and the market, figures it out. I think a lot of times when we see sharp sell-offs, it's usually because it's a knee-jerk reaction to a headline or something that's gone on, and then once we digest it, the market then, finds it, like I keep saying, it finds its footing and will rebound or will make its way back to equilibrium.
Yeah, that's what this woman was telling me too. She's like, you know what, it's the long game and just chill. But
you never want to panic.
That's right.
That's the worst thing.
That's the worst thing to do. So let's talk a little bit about Hope Therapeutics and NRx Pharma. Can you talk a little bit about the overview of what they do? Because I know it's a lot with, NRx Pharma comes up with a drug specifically for suicidal ideation, right? And ketamine therapies, right? Yeah. And then Hope Therapeutics, as I understand, is almost like it's an extension of the drug that is actually a place where people can go to get treatments and actual treatment from a therapist.
Right. Yeah, so NRx, it's an interesting company because on one side, NRx Pharma is a biotech company with two drugs that treat suicidal bipolar depression. It's moving towards FDA approval.
Great.
Which is fantastic.
How far away are we from that?
The last that I've heard, probably by the end of the year, we should have.
Really? Wow, great.
Some movement from FDA, which would be great.
Yeah.
And then on the Hope side, that's really the brick and mortar. These are actual clinics where individuals who are struggling can go receive treatment from ketamine to TMS.
What's TMS?
So TMS is transmagnetic stimulation.
Oh, okay.
Which is literally a helmet that goes onto the brain.
Okay.
The psychiatrist can map the brain, repair the synapses, and we're seeing great efficacy in as little as anywhere from 5 to 14 sessions. We can get folks back to feeling pretty good.
Because as I understand it, the ketamine treatments, when they are prescribed and administered via a doctor, right? We're not at the place where people would just go home and take it. It would be in a doctor setting, and then to have that support and therapy surrounding it as well, not just the medication, but actual physical interaction and support that way, correct?
Right, and it's also about getting family members, loved ones, caregivers involved too, so that they have a place to go where oftentimes with ketamine, people can start to feel much better within literally hours.
Wow.
But it does have it will wear off over time.
Okay.
So Hope Therapeutics is also about making sure that the loved ones and caregivers are involved too to help people stay in front of their treatments.
I mean, that's a huge part of it too, is because I know a lot of family members, they don't know how to speak with or handle a loved one who has these suicidal ideations. Because I think if you're not there mentally, you can't understand and know how to support. So I think, how many, really quickly, we have just about a minute left, but how many brick and mortar places are there so far?
So there's about, they're in contract with about 9 nationwide.
Okay.
And that will grow over time. And that's a great, because right now the only option for somebody who's threatening suicide is the ER.
Right.
And that's not a long-term
solution.
And so Hope Therapeutics can be a place for somebody.
And it's not just for veterans, right? It's for anyone with these suicidal ideations.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Mike Taylor, investment banker and friend of the show.
Absolutely.
Love having you. And your
thank you for having
here
me.
in the house
Yes,
today. She's going to go to my daughter's high school. I love it. And everyone at home, thank you for listening, watching Big Biz Show. This was kind of fun being the helm of the show here. Mary Burke Godwin leading the Big Biz Show for you today, the Day Trader Trio taking us out. We'll see you next time.